What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing alright. Today we're talking cameras, not just any camera. We're talking about the Lumix G7. So before we get into it, I just kind of want to address who this video is really for. If you're looking to get into video or photo, but you really don't want to spend too much money on a camera, and you're looking for something that can do fairly well in both fields, this might be for you. So I've had this camera now for about a year, just a couple of months away from a year. I've beaten the hell out of this camera. I've taken it almost everywhere with me. So immediately, right off the bat from picking it up, the first thing that you'll know is that it is incredibly small and very light, which for some people that might be a pro or a con. For me, it's a pro because it can go in one bag with all my other gear and I don't have to worry about taking two bags. The camera is honestly really well built considering that it's a plastic body. I mean, I've taken this out in the rain and it's been fine. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's been through it all right. If you are looking to go, in crazy conditions, I can't recommend this would be the camera for you. It's been fine from what I've tested it in. So number one right off the bat is obviously just how small, compact, and easy to use it really is. It doesn't really have a learning curve. If you have no clue on how to use a camera, it's not complicated to use at all. I'll put up a couple of photos that I've taken with the Lumix, and that brings me to my second point, which is the Lumix Kit Lens. This kit lens is phenomenal. I can't believe that I'm saying that about a kit lens. Usually kit lenses that you receive are plasticky and don't last very long, they break. Although this lens is completely plastic, it survived. One thing to note is this lens is seriously tiny. I mean, for comparison, I'm just gonna put the AirPods case right next to it, and it's about close to the same size. Honestly, for being a kit lens, you can pull off some pretty awesome shots with this. Most of what you see on my channel is pretty much shot through this lens. I'd say an honest 80 to 90% of what I film is with this kit lens. Because of how good this kit lens is, I haven't really found the need to go and buy another lens that's similar to this one. The only thing that I wish they would have done is made the back part here metal, so then it would have been, in the end, a little bit more durable. When I purchased this last year, I got it for $597. That's seriously a steal for something that can shoot 4K, 1080 at 60, and comes with a kit lens. Even today in 2018, that is a seriously competitive price. Now, I'm not saying the Lumix is perfect. I am obviously a little biased because this is my, one of my main personal shooters. I will get to the other side, but let's just keep on going for now on what's good about it. Obviously, third has to be the price. The price for what you get is seriously such a good matchup that it's really hard to beat. The other cameras that I was looking at for myself was the Sony a6000, the 6300. I believe I was also looking at an Olympus camera. So I was looking at all mirrorless cameras because I wanted something that was small, portable, and something that I'd be able to use for a while. I was a little iffy on mirrorless cameras at first because I was only accustomed to full-frame DSLRs. But I gave it a shot and I've been really happy with it. Something that a lot of people seem to like is actually the touchscreen on the Lumix, which I personally don't use just because I'm not huge on putting my fingerprints on a screen. You can tap to focus on what it is that you're trying to focus in on. You can navigate through the menu fairly smoothly, which brings me to the next point, which is the articulating screen. Honestly, I haven't found the need to buy an external monitor yet just because I just use the screen that's on here. Other than that, I'm sure you've already heard from plenty of other videos, pros and cons on the Lumix. But before I hop into the cons, I thought I would just really quickly talk about the lenses that I got. So on the left we have the Panasonic Lumix line lens. It is the 25mm prime, so in micro four thirds terms that's actually a 50. So the reason I went with this one was because 50mm prime lens is something that is pretty versatile. I mean, you can shoot a portrait with this, but you can also shoot some pretty nice video with it. The aperture is really fast, so I can let a whole lot of light in here and I can get some really nice blurry backgrounds. And I absolutely love shooting B-roll with this because it just looks really good. Next to that, I have my kind of like longer variable lens. This is the 45 to 200, which in micro four thirds terms, this is in 90 to 400. The only downside with the lens like this is when you do zoom in and out, the aperture changes. It's gonna change as you zoom in and out. And that also happens on the kit lens as well, but it's not that bad of a change when you zoom in and out on the kit lens. This one, a little bit more noticeable. The one thing that's nice about these smaller lenses is they actually really weren't that expensive. I picked up the 25mm for $150, I believe, and I also picked up this one on eBay used for, I believe, it was around 200 bucks. I'll just say 200 bucks. The point being that you can actually get lenses for not that expensive considering the price of other lenses such as Canon L-Class. They're not anything to write home about, but if you know what you're doing and you practice and you get to know these lenses, they can really get the job done. So there seriously isn't a lot that I don't like about the G7, but no camera's perfect for every situation, and after using it for a year, I've found a few things that I really don't like. And right off the bat, the one thing that I'm pretty sure everyone knows about is the continuous autofocus during video is just, let me put it this way. When you're lining up your shot and you hit record and you're moving, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden halfway through, your autofocus jitters. It's almost like someone goes up to the autofocus ring and just goes in and out like this really quickly. It's really annoying when it pops up and you just can't do anything about it other than going into manual focus, which is something I've kind of learned to do. So that's number one. Continuous autofocus on it during video is just not acceptable. It's something I wish that they had fixed in the GH5, but from what I hear and what I've seen, it still does it. Next up on the line, a lot of mirrorless cameras tend to not be that great with battery life, and this is no exception. With heavy usage, I'll get anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes max. I shot a wedding this past summer and I didn't have time to, turn the camera on and off from point A to point B, and it took a toll. If you have a buttload of batteries, then I guess it's not that big of a problem. It's more of just kind of a pain in the butt. You don't want to constantly have to stop, put batteries in and out, because then, you miss the shot. That's number two. Number three is something that I can't say I've ever seen someone talk about on a YouTube video. I can be completely wrong, so please do correct me if I'm wrong. But I've never seen anyone say anything about their Lumix G7 on any YouTube video, and that is the bulb mode. So in order to get to the bulb mode, well actually, you know what, before I talk about the bulb mode, if you don't know what bulb mode is, it's when you basically leave your shutter open for as long as you want, typically for long exposures or, doing a little bit of night photography. And you just leave it open and you get in as much light as you can. I think maybe over Christmas break, I realized something that kind of bothered me, and that was that the bulb mode on the G7 has a time limit, and it's not an understandable time limit. You're supposed to leave it open for as long as you want. You might have seen, there was a video where Peter McKinnon did a lapse where he left the bulb mode open for like 45 minutes. And the photo looked incredible. I'll put it right here real quick. You can't do that with this. It has a 120 second limit on the bulb mode. What? I still don't understand why, and honestly, that's what bothers me the most about this camera, which might not be that important to you, but I absolutely love night photography. It's something that I think might be my favorite part of photography. And it stops at 120 seconds. It drives me nuts because I feel like it's a software thing. Any camera should be able to do that. Is it because it's a mirrorless camera? I don't know, but all I know is you can't shoot for more than 120 seconds leaving your shutter open, and it drives me nuts. Those are the three main things that bother me the most about the Lumix. So really my main point is just that, are you serious? My LED light just died. Well, I'm almost at the end of it. I'll pretty much close it up on this. And there is no perfect camera for everyone. Find what camera works for you, meets all of those check boxes, and something that you'll be able to use for a while, because it's 2018, this camera's almost 3 years old, and I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm going to be using it for a long time after this year. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, consider subscribing, leave a like, comment below. If you didn't like it, I guess a thumbs down will suffice. But other than that, that's all I got, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.